social media, where everyone's thriving, except you. They're traveling, you're scrolling, they're promoted, you're stagnant, they're engaged, you're single, they're glowing, you're exhausted, and you think, what am I doing wrong? Here's the truth. You're not comparing yourself to real people. You're comparing yourself to edited performances, to highlight reels, to curated feeds, to the version of someone they want you to see. This is Overthinking Department, where we talk about why comparison culture is making you miserable and why the people you're envying are probably envying someone else. Social media is a performance. Everyone knows this, and yet we still believe it. We see someone's feed, perfectly curated, beautifully filtered, strategically posted, and we think, that's their life. It's not. It's marketing. They're not showing you reality. They're showing you the version of reality they want you to believe. The engagement photo, not the argument beforehand. The promotion announcement, not the anxiety that came with it. The holiday photo, not the credit card, debt. But your brain doesn't process it that way. Your brain sees success and compares it to your reality, struggle. Except their success is an illusion. Your struggle is just uncurated. If you posted your highlight reel, you'd look successful too, but you don't post the good bits. You live the hard bits. So you're comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's show reel and wondering why you're not measuring up. You are. You're just seeing the full picture of your life and only the filtered version of theirs. That's not a fair comparison. It's not even a real one. One particularly wise bloke noted, comparison is the thief of joy. Not because comparing is inherently bad, but because we're comparing the wrong things. You don't compare yourself to people worse off than you. You compare yourself to people who appear better off. And appear is doing a lot of work in that sentence. Because here's the trick. The people you're comparing yourself to, they're comparing themselves to someone else. The person with the perfect relationship is envying someone's career. The person with the great career is envying someone's freedom. The person with freedom is envying someone's stability. It's a chain. Everyone's looking up. Nobody's looking at what they have. The Stoics had thoughts on this. They believed the only comparison worth making is with who you were yesterday. Are you better today than you were a year ago? That's the only question that matters. Not, am I better than them? But, am I better than I was? But we don't do that, because it's not satisfying. Comparing yourself to your past self requires honesty. You have to acknowledge growth effort, progress. Comparing yourself to others is easier because you can always find someone doing better, which means you can always feel inadequate, which means you never have to examine whether you're actually unhappy with your life or just unhappy that someone else's looks better. Right, here's the part that stings. You're not actually envious of their life. You're envious of what their life represents. You see someone traveling the world. You don't want their life. You want freedom, adventure, the absence of responsibility. You see someone in a perfect relationship. You don't want their partner. You want to feel loved, secure, not alone. You see someone successful. You don't want their job. You want validation, recognition, proof that you matter. But here's the kicker. You can have those things without their life. You can have freedom without constant travel. You can have love without a relationship. You can have validation without external success. But that requires internal work, and internal work is hard. It's easier to think, if I had what they have, I'd be happy. Except, they have what they have, and they're probably not happy either, because happiness doesn't come from external achievement, it comes from internal peace. And you can't curate peace, you can't filter it, you can't post it for validation. Which is why the people with the perfect feeds are often the most miserable. They're chasing an image, not a life. So, what now? Delete social media? Become a hermit? Never compare yourself to anyone again? Unrealistic. Here's the reframe. When you catch yourself comparing, ask, 1. What specifically am I envious of? Not their life. What part of it? 2. Is that something I actually want? Or something I think I should want? Because sometimes we're envious of things we don't actually desire. We just think we're supposed to. 3. Can I have that without their exact life? Usually, yes. You want freedom? Create it. You want love? Build it. You want success? Define it on your terms. 4. Am I better than I was a year ago? If yes, you're winning. If no, adjust. Raha. But stop comparing your progress to someone else's performance. You're not running their race. You're not comparing yourself to real people. You're comparing yourself to illusions, to performances, to carefully constructed images designed to make you feel inadequate, so you keep scrolling. That's not reality. That's marketing, and you're falling for it. So stop. Stop scrolling. Stop comparing. Stop measuring your life against someone's highlight reel. Your life isn't less valuable because it's not filtered. It's just real. And real is better, even when it doesn't look like it. And now, a question for you. Whose life do you compare yourself to most? Now, what would happen if you stopped? Drop your answer in the comments. Subscribe if you've ever felt inadequate because someone's Instagram feed looked better than your reality. Overthinking Department, where we don't curate our chaos open 24/7.